Something I find really interesting working at ODI is that I have the chance to talk to economic and fiscal policymakers all the time. And it has become really apparent to me over the last couple of years that the IPCC summary for policymakers is completely impenetrable to them. That's not to say it doesn't play an important role. Environmental policymakers find it fantastic, but it doesn't speak the language of economic and fiscal policymakers. And I know it's the same for urban policymakers. If you're looking to understand why climate change is important to you and your city and how you can respond to it by reducing your emissions and adapting to its shocks, you need something much more accessible. And that's why I think the summary for urban policymakers is such a valuable resource. I think the SUP really underscores that in cities, mitigation, adaptation, and development come together. The kinds of cities that we want to live in the future are greener, more efficient, more resilient to shocks and stresses of all kinds beyond those caused by climate change. Those conditions lead people to be healthier, more productive, and happier. The IPCC SUP really underscores the options available to help us make the leap to those more ideal cities to live and work in. And that's a very striking finding to my mind, given that for years we've been told that climate action happens at the expense of development. What we find is that climate-smart development leads to faster and fairer development for all, especially in urban contexts.